Our final segment for this week, we're going to head on over to Santa Anita. We're going to talk about the Robert B. Lewis. But before we do, Alexa, let all the folks out there know how they can get some free all access past performances.
Yeah, we have a free card for you. You can scan the QR code on the screen or head to DRF.com and use DRF SGPPS code to get your card.
So we'll head on over west to Santa Anita. We'll talk about the smallest field of the three races we're going to discuss. But we have the 2-year-old champ from last year who's going to be in this race, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Citizen Bull. We'll talk about him in just a moment. Let's start with Matticat Road. And what makes this particular race tough, Alexa, 5 horses in here. 3 of them, the 1, 2, and 3, are all trained by Bob Baffert. So when you have multiple horses like this, they've all shown some speed. Like they can be forwardly placed, but I think this is the one that is going to be sitting because he's actually shown that he can pass horses. And I think that could be a key in a small field like this. If a couple of them are jockeying for position, he can sit off a little bit. And I think the pace projector kind of has it accurate. He'll probably be in the 3rd or 4th spot and hopefully be passing some horses late. What do you think about Matticat Road?
So, just in general with this race, I think it's a really interesting race to talk about, but I think it's a little bit seedy. To me, it's
It's
less
not a great
about,
gambling race.
yeah, it's less about the horses and more about what's the plan? What's the trainer intent? Because these 1, 2, and 3, Manicat Road, Citizen Bull, and Rodriguez, all trained and owned by the same people. So it's like, what's going to be most advantageous for them? Because in my opinion, those are really the 3 main contenders in here
Absolutely.
anyway.
Totally agree.
And
I would be
only with that,
shocked if either of the other 2 horses won this race.
yeah,
They're very big long
absolutely.
shots.
And it's like Citizen Bull already has basically enough points to go to the Derby.
And he doesn't really need this race.
He doesn't need it. I mean, every top 5 get points, so they're all going to get something. He'll even if he ran last, he'd get a couple more that just bump him into that Derby spot for sure. And then, the other 2 don't have any. So for them, it might make sense. They just get to control the dynamic of this race so much, and
Absolutely.
so it makes it difficult for me to handicap and say this is going to play out based on these horses' merits.
No, you're very right. And that's as gamblers, it's what's so tricky about it. Like who has the best chance of winning on Saturday is a different conversation than who is the most likely horse to run or win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
Right? Those are
because if you're an owner, you want to get all 3 of those in the Derby. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
having one in the Derby is incredible, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, Manicat Road's a great horse.
And I guess if we're trying to like talk about tactics, this would be the one that would sort of hope that the 2 next door to him go hook up with each other because Citizen Bull is pretty quick, and that's how he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, going right to the front end. And Rodriguez, who's the 3 right next door, he's also pretty quick.
Yeah.
I will say one additional tool that we have, anything you can do when you're handicapping the races, like the more knowledge you can gain, it can only help you. Our friends at ExpressBet, XBTV, they actually show the morning workouts for a lot of these horses. They'll record them in the mornings and show. And I would say I wasn't all that high on Citizen Bull's recent workouts in the morning compared to this horse, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He looks like an absolute monster in the mornings. Really, really good. He earned a big speed figure when he won. And Alexa, I think if they wanted to have one of the 3 horses go to the front, it would be him. Like they could actually let him get the front in here and kind of dictate things.
I agree. I like Rodriguez in here from a tactical standpoint. Won his last race by 7 lengths just a few weeks ago at Santa Anita. So definitely, that's who I have on top for this
Yeah.
race.
And unfortunately, Clock Tower, I mean, shout out to Back to the Future. We want to save the Clock Tower, no doubt about it. I just don't know if Clock Tower has much of a shot in here. At the very least, he has speed. He's a grade 3 winner on the turf, but this is just a way tougher. Like the 3 horses to the inside of him
Yeah.
are way tougher than anything he's faced so far.
Absolutely. And same with Valentine's candy. I mean, I probably shouldn't admit this on TV, but I ate an entire box of those like
The
jumbo
hearts?
nerds. No, the
Oh, oh,
nerds.
oh, the nerds. Okay.
Yesterday, the Valentine's end cap got me.
Coming
And that's
up.
the most interesting thing I can say about Valentine's candy. Although it does make sense that he's in here because the top five get money. He's going to get $4,000 even if he gets last. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. They throw him in here. They get at least a month of bills paid, a couple derby points. Yeah.
And we've seen crazy things happen in horse racing. One or two horses comes out of the gate wrong. One or two horses stumbles a little bit. Maybe it could set up for a long shot like Valentine's candy. Well, it's time for us to finish up with this edition of the weekend preview. We couldn't really get all that creative, but we do lean Rodriguez over the 2-year-old champ. Alexa, it's one of my favorite times of the week talking racing with you each and every week here on Sports Grid. Shout out to producer Rich, producer Mike. We'll see you all again right here next week on the Weekend Preview.